All right, this video we're going to take a look at buying a home. Uh, so look at how to figure payments and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So we've got loan payment formula for fixed installment loans. It says the regular payment amount, which is abbreviated PMT, required to repay a loan of P dollars paid N times per year over T years at an annual rate R is given by this formula here. Now, R is your interest rate. That's typically not typically, but R is in decimal. Okay, so they'll give you a percentage and you have to write it in decimal form. N is how often you're going to make your payments. Usually when you buy a house, you make monthly payments. And, or if, you could make, I guess weekly payments, yearly payments, but typically it's monthly payments. So that would, in that case, N would be 12 because you're making 12 payments a year. T is the number of years, and P is how much you're going to borrow. And this is your formula. P times R over N, all that divided by 1 minus, and in parentheses, 1 plus R over N raised to the negative NT. All right, so let's go ahead and look at an example. So we've got example 1 here. It says the price of a home is $195,000. The bank requires a 10% down payment and 2 points at the time of closing. I'll talk about what this points means in just a minute. When we get to that part of the problem, I'll go over what it means. The cost of the home is financed with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 7.5%. All right, so it says find the required down payment. All right, so, they tell us that the down payment is 10% of the $195,000. So that would give us the $195,000 times the 10%, and that's in decimal. You convert the 10% to decimal, so you just move the decimal 2 places to the left, and that is going to be $19,500. That's your down payment. All right. Now they want us to find the amount of the mortgage. Okay, find the amount of the mortgage. Well, the mortgage, that's going to be the price of the home minus your down payment. So that's going to be the $195,000 minus the $19,500, and that is going to give us $175,500. And so that's your mortgage. All right, now the next part, how much must be paid for the 2 points at closing? All right, so let me explain what that means. Okay, so most lending companies require the buyer to pay 1 or 2 points at the time of closing. Okay, that's when the mortgage begins. A point is a one-time charge that equals 1% of the loan amount. Okay, so that's what you're going to borrow. Okay, not necessarily the price of the home, but how much you're going to borrow. Okay, because remember, when for the price of the home, you can put some money down. Okay, just like in this problem, they required 10% down. So what we would have to borrow here is the $175,500. So a 1 point would be 1% of that amount, not the price of the home. And so, for example, if they said 2 points, okay, you had to pay 2 points. Well, that would mean you would pay 2% of the loan amount at closing. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and figure out how much we would have to pay for the 2 points at closing. All right. So that's 2%. Okay. 1 point is 1%. 2 points is 2% of the amount you're going to borrow. So that's 2% of the $175,500. So that would be the $175,500 times 0.02. You convert the 2% to decimal, and that would equal the $3,510. All right. Then it says find the monthly payments, excluding escrowed taxes and insurance. Okay, so we're not going to take into account all that stuff. All right, so to find this, what we want to do is we're going to use our formula. So what I would do is I would write the formula down. So payment is equal to P times R over N divided by, and that's going to be 1 minus 1 plus R over N to the negative NT. Okay. All that is just this formula right up here. I just rewrote it. All right. Now, let's look and see what all we need. Okay. All right. So we need P. That's how much we're going to borrow. Okay. So the home was $195,000. Yeah. $195,000, but we made a 10% down payment, so we only have to borrow the $175,500. So P would be $175,500. R, that's the interest rate. So let's come back up here. So the interest rate is 7.5%. So we would convert that to decimal, 0.075. Okay. And then we need N. So N, that's how many payments you're going to make every year. Well, it says find the monthly payments. So N would be 12. And then we need T. Well, that's the number of years. And I believe they told us that up here. It says with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. All right, so we got 30 years, so T is 30. And now all we do is we plug that in. Okay. So let's see, we've got our payment is equal to P, which is 175,500 times R, which, let me plug my tablet in. All right, so battery was running down. So we've got R, which is 0.075 over N, which is 12, divided by 1 minus 1 plus R, which is 0.075 over N, which is 12, raised to the negative N, which is 12 times T, which is 30. So our payment is going to be $1,227. And of course this, I'm rounding this. Okay. All right. Now what they want us to do is find the total interest paid over 30 years. All right, so the total interest paid. So first what we've got to do is we've got to actually see how much are we actually paying. Okay, well, we're paying this amount every month. Okay, so the total that we're paying for the entire 30 years, we're paying the $12.27. We're paying that every month, so times 12 for what? For 30 years. Okay, see, it's the 1,227 times 12. So that tells us how much we're paying in a year, and it's for 30 years, so we've got to multiply that times 30. And so the total is equal to, that's going to be 441,720. $441,720. So the amount of interest that we're paying, so the interest is going to be this total amount that we're paying, which is $441,720 minus the amount we borrowed, which is that, the $175,500. And so our interest would be $266,220. And so that's the interest you're paying. Okay, so that's the interest is more than the cost of the house. Okay, all right, so let's look at another one, another example. It says, prepare a loan amortization schedule for the first 2 months of the mortgage loan shown in the table below. Round entries to the nearest cent. All right, so of course, if you do a loan amortization table, you're gonna calculate more than 2 payments. But I'm going to show you how to calculate 2, and then you would just continue on in this pattern here that we're going down. Okay, it would be the same thing, just you would have to do it for a 3rd payment, a 4th payment, a 5th payment, and so on. But it's the same concept. All right, so the table here, it gives us our information, our interest rate, 9.5%. Amount of mortgage is $130,000. Number of monthly payments is 180. Monthly payments are $1,357.50, and it's for 15 years. Okay, so what they've done is they've already gone and figured out the payments for us and everything like that. How much the monthly payments are. So we've just got to fill this table out. So we need to figure out interest payment, principal payment, and balance of loan. All right. So let's start with payment 1. So we got payment 1. All right. So what's the interest for the month? Okay, the interest for the month. All right, so we've got interest for month. Okay, so the interest for the month, that's PRT, which is equal to, let's write it down here. So that's going to be the principal, which is $130,000. See, that's this amount right here, times the interest. So the interest, that's 9.5%. So that's 0.09 1,395 times, and then we want to know the interest for the month. Well, there's 12 months in a year, so that's times 1/12. And so this will give us, when we punch it into our calculator, would be $1,029.17. Okay, that's the interest for the month. Now let's look at the principal payment. Okay, the principal payment. Well, that is equal to the monthly payment minus the interest payment. Okay, the monthly payment minus the interest payment. So the monthly payment is this $1,357.50. So that equals $1,357.50 minus the interest payment. Okay. Well, what's the interest payment? Well, here's the interest payment. The $1,029.17, which that is equal to $328.33. All right, now let's look for balance of loan. All right, so the balance of loan is equal to the principal balance minus the principal payment. And the principal balance, well, that's what we started out with. That's the $130,000 minus the principal payment. Well, what's the principal payment? That is this $328.33. And that is equal to $129,671.67. All right. I'm going to come up here and just kind of underline these headings so it'll separate it a little better. All right, so now just filling this out, this is going to be, this is what? This is the $1,029.17. This is the $328.33, and this is the, and then the $129,671.67. That's this 129. Let's see, what was it? 129. I copied that. Let me see. Did I get that right? Yeah, 129,671 and 67 cents. Okay, so that's payment number one. Well, now we've got to do the same thing. We've got payment 2. Okay. So now let's calculate the interest for the month. Well, that's PRT. Okay. So that's the principal times the rate times the time. So in this case, the principal is the $129,671.67. See, that's your new balance. Okay, we're doing it. We're calculating the interest on that amount for this month. Okay, and then that's times the interest rate which is 0.095. It's going to be the same as this one over here, times the 1/12, and that is going to give us, let's see, we get $1,026.57. Okay, so that's the interest for the month. I guess we can go ahead and put that in there. $1,026.57. And then we're looking for the principal payment. Okay. The principal payment. Well, remember, that's what? That's the monthly payment minus interest payment. Okay, so what's the monthly payment? Now remember, the monthly payments, they're not changing. Okay, see, we calculated the monthly payments up here. So the monthly payment, that's the 1,357.50. Whoop, comma in the wrong spot. Minus the interest payment. Well, in this case, see, here's the interest payment. The 1,026.57, which that is equal to $330.93. All right. So that's the principal payment. Okay. All right. So let's put that in there. That's $330.93. And then we want to find balance of loan. All right, so remember, that is the principal balance minus principal payment. I'm having to abbreviate these things because I'm running out of room. All right, so balance of loan. That's the principal balance minus the principal payment. Well, what's the balance? Well, the balance, see, in this first one, it was the 130. That's what we started out with up here. But now, see, there's your new balance right there. Okay. So we've got to use the $129,671.67. And so that's going to be the 129,671.67 minus the principal payment. And here's your principal payment, $330.93. And then, well, when we put that in, I don't know if I can squeeze that in here. That is going to give us 340 and 74 cents. Okay, and so that would be this one. That is the 129, 340. That's a 4 there, and 74 cents. Okay, and then if you wanted to do for a third payment, you would do this same thing. You would just keep going. Okay. Just like I did, the first payment, and then how I went to the second payment, you would do that. And then you would do the third payment, fourth payment, fifth payment, and so on. All right. So let's look at example 3. All right, so it says, suppose that your gross annual income is $25,000. Okay, that's your gross annual income. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month on a mortgage payment? And then it says, what is the maximum amount you should spend each month for total credit obligations? And then for part C, if your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of the maximum amount you can afford, what is the maximum amount you should spend each month for all, and that should be for all other debt. Okay. And this is the last example. All right, so this isn't going to be too bad here. This section's not too long here. All right, so suppose your gross annual income is $25,000. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month on a mortgage payment? All right. So we've got a gross annual income of $20,000. So let's go ahead and get our gross monthly income. Okay, our gross monthly income. So our gross monthly income, that is the $25,000 divided by 12. All right, and that comes out to $2,083. All right, so it's $2,083.33. I'm just going to round to the nearest dollar. Okay. Now, when you're figuring this out, what is the maximum amount you should spend each month on a mortgage payment? All right. So you should spend no more than 28% of your gross monthly income. Okay. No more than 28%. All right. So we've got, 28% of the $2,083. Well, how do we figure that out? Well, that's the $2,083 times the 28%. So we got to convert that to decimal. And so when we multiply that, we get about $583. Okay, so that's the maximum amount you should spend each month on your mortgage payment. Now, that 583, that of course it's a decimal, but I'm just rounding it to the nearest dollar, rounding everything to the nearest dollar. Okay. All right, so now let's look at part B. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month for total credit obligations? All right, so for total credit obligations, you should spend no more than 36% of your gross monthly income. Okay? No more than 36% of your gross monthly income. So 36% of $2,083, your gross 36% of your gross monthly income. So that's going to be $2,083 times 0.36. And when we multiply that, that gives us $750. Okay, so that's the maximum amount you should spend each month for total credit obligations. All right. All right, so if your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of the maximum amount you can afford, okay, so Your monthly mortgage payment is 80% of this number. Okay. What is the maximum amount you should spend each month for all other debt? Okay. So what we have to do there is we have to figure out what 80% of our monthly mortgage payment is. So 80%, okay, of monthly mortgage, okay, which is 80%, okay, is the 583, okay, that's your monthly mortgage, of $583. So that's just the 583 times the 0.8, convert that to decimal, and that gives us about $466. All right. So that's our mortgage payment. Okay, that's our mortgage payment because it said it's 80% of the maximum amount you can afford. Okay, and I guess I shouldn't say, I guess we should say maximum monthly mortgage payment. That's the maximum we can afford. That's the 583. We calculated that up here in part A. Okay, all right, and that's 80% of it. And it wants to know what is the maximum amount you should spend each month for all other debt. Well, we know the total we can spend there is the $750. So for that, we do the $750 minus this amount, the $466, and that ends up being $284. So all your other debt that you have, you don't want that payment to exceed this. Okay? All right. So I hope that helped. And one other thing I want to go over just real quick in this video is, you've got renting, you can rent and you can buy. Okay? So let's talk about benefits of renting and buying. Okay? So for renting, well, there's no down payment or points required. Remember the 1 point or 2 point, that you have to pay. You usually have a security deposit though, but it's returned at the end of your lease. All right, it's very mobile for renting. You can relocate easy, move as often as you like, and as your lease permits you to do. It does not tie up hundreds of thousands of dollars that might be invested more safely and lucratively elsewhere. Most financial advisors agree that you should buy a home because you want to live in it, not because you want to fund your retirement. Renting it does not clutter what you can afford for your total monthly debt with mortgage payments. May involve lower monthly expenses. Okay, you pay rent, but a homeowner pays mortgage, taxes, insurance, and upkeep. Okay, renting can provide stuff like swimming pools, tennis courts, and health clubs. You avoid risk of falling house prices. It doesn't require home repair, maintenance, and groundskeeping. Usually they have somebody do that for you. There's no property taxes. Generally less costly than buying a home and staying in it for fewer than 3 years. Okay. And then benefits of home ownership. You got peace of mind and stability, provides significant tax advantages, including deductions of mortgage interest and property taxes. There's no chance of rent increasing over time. Allows for freedom to remodel, landscape, and redecorate. You can kind of pretty much do what you want to your home. You can build up equity. That's the difference between the home's value and what you owe on the mortgage as the mortgage is paid off. The possibility of home appreciation is a potential source of cash in the form of home equity loans. And when looking at a 7-year time frame, total cost of renting, you got monthly rent, renter's insurance, loss of potential interest on a security deposit, is more than twice the total cost of buying for homeowners who itemize their tax deductions. Okay, so that's just kind of like a quick little comparison there. Of course, nothing in great detail. But I hope that helped. I hope you feel a little smarter now after you watch this video. Check out my other videos. Give me a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.